Hello, and welcome to News Express. Now, fresh anxiety is building around Nigeria's 2027 general elections as growing insecurity, political distrust, and fears of institutional manipulation begin to dominate national discourse long before campaigns officially begin. What should ordinarily be a period of democratic preparation is increasingly becoming a season of suspicion, strategic positioning, and a deep concern over whether Africa's largest democracy can guarantee a free, fair, and peaceful electoral process. At the center of the latest controversy is a stark warning from the chairman of the INEC, Joash Amopitan, who openly admitted that the scale of insecurity across Nigeria could seriously undermine the credibility of the 2027 elections. Speaking during a high-level meeting with the Inspector General of Police, Tunji Disu, in Abuja, Amopita painted a troubling picture of the challenges confronting the electoral system, warning that violence, voting trading, attacks on election officials, and threats to voters now pose direct dangers to Nigeria's democratic stability. The significance of that warning cannot be overstated. For years, insecurity has been discussed largely as a national security problem tied to insurgency, banditry, communal clashes, and kidnapping. But INEC's latest position reframes the crisis as something even more consequential, a direct threat to democracy itself. In other words, the concern is no longer simply whether Nigeria is safe, but whether elections can genuinely hold under conditions where entire communities remain vulnerable to violence and displacement. Amopitan's remarks also come at a politically sensitive time. The 2027 presidential election has already been scheduled for January 16, while governorship and state assembly elections are fixed for February 6. Political coalitions are forming early. Opposition parties are repositioning aggressively, and tensions within major parties are escalating nationwide. Against that backdrop, insecurity becomes more than a law and order issue. It becomes a potential political weapon capable of influencing voter turnout, suppressing opposition strongholds, or even delaying the electoral process altogether. That fear is precisely what opposition figures are now warning against. Almost immediately after INEC's concerns became public, opposition parties began pushing back against any suggestion of military deployment for election duties. Their argument is rooted not only in constitutional principles, but also in historical experience. In Nigeria, the involvement of soldiers in elections has always generated controversy because of allegations of intimidation, suppression, and excessive force. While the military has traditionally been deployed only in high-risk scenarios as a support mechanism, many critics believe that once soldiers appear around polling stations, the atmosphere of civic participation quickly transforms into one of fear and cohesion. The national coordinator of the obedient movement, Yunus Tanko, expressed deep suspicion about the timing and implication of the insecurity narrative. His intervention reflects a broader concern within opposition circles that insecurity could be used as a pretext to shape electoral outcomes. By referencing the 2015 election postponement during the administration of Goodluck Jonathan, Tanko subtly revived memories of how security concerns have previously altered Nigeria's electoral timetable. More importantly, he introduced a political dimension that is likely to dominate opposition rhetoric in the months ahead, the belief that the ruling establishment may be uneasy about the possibility of Peter Obi remaining a major electoral force in 2027. whether that fear is justified or not. It reflects the deep mistrust now defining Nigeria's political environment, where even legitimate security discussions are interpreted through the lens of political strategy and electoral advantage. The Labour Party Nigeria also reinforced this argument through its spokesman, Ken Asogwa, who insisted that elections are civic exercises that should remain under the control of civil institutions such as the police and civil defense corps. His comments touched on a broader democratic principle, the idea that elections should inspire public confidence, not fear. In functioning democracies, voting is seen as a normal civic responsibility. But in Nigeria, the mere discussion of military deployment reveals how fragile public trust in the electoral process has become. Interestingly, criticism did not come only from opposition parties worried about security deployments. The factional interim leadership of the People's Democratic Party, led by Tani Motoraki, argued that the bigger threat to democracy may actually lie within INEC itself. Through its spokesman, Ini Emembong, the group accused the Electoral Commission of failing to inspire confidence through neutrality and transparency. That criticism strikes at the heart of a long-standing debate in Nigerian politics. For many citizens and opposition actors, the credibility of elections depends not only on physical security, but also on institutional trust. Even in peaceful environments, elections can still lose legitimacy if the electoral umpire is perceived as partisan or compromised. This explains why many opposition figures now insist that electoral integrity must involve both secure polling environments and an independent commission capable of resisting political pressure. Meanwhile, the new Nigerian People's Party approached the issue from a governance perspective, arguing that the federal government still has enough time to improve security conditions before the elections. The party spokesman, Ladipo Johnson, questioned whether the government possesses the competence and political will to reverse years of deteriorating insecurity within the limited time remaining before 2027. This growing criticism reveals an emerging consensus across opposition lines that while insecurity is real, militarizing elections is not the solution. Instead, when national parties begin moving key democratic events away from the capital because of security fears, it reflects a country where instability is no longer peripheral, but central to political calculations. Beyond the immediate politics, the conversation around internally displaced persons comes as another layer of urgency. Millions of Nigerians displaced by violence face the risk of political exclusion if adequate arrangements are not made for them to vote. Amopita's insistence that displaced citizens and persons with disabilities must not be disenfranchised highlights a critical democratic challenge: how to ensure inclusion in a country where insecurity has uprooted entire communities. Ultimately, what is unfolding is more than a debate about security deployment. It is a struggle over the credibility of Nigerian democracy itself. The ruling establishment wants to reassure citizens that security agencies are preparing adequately. Opposition parties fear that these same security structures could become instruments of political control. INEC warns about insecurity, while critics warn about institutional bias, and ordinary Nigerians are left wondering whether the 2027 elections will strengthen democracy or deepen existing fractures. Finally, as political activity intensifies, One reality is becoming impossible to ignore. The battle for 2027 has already begun, not on campaign stages, but in arguments over trust, institutions, security, and the very rules that will govern the electoral process. That's all for now on News Express. If you have something to say, head over to the comment section and share your thoughts. We would love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. I'm Chidera Esum. Thank you for watching. Do have a beautiful day.